y'all, Jeremy here, also known as Wampa Dude, and welcome to the Wampa Dude channel. And if you recognize this is my demonstration leg where I showed you 3 easy ways to modify a pair of drywall stilts to become a more efficient stilt walking costumer. If you're new to the channel, it's stuff like this of why I have a channel. I'm using my 20 years of experience of being in stilts and being a large costumer to show you everything that I've learned, all my ups and my downs, my failures and my positives of how to become a better stilt walker. Now, stuff like this is why I would like to put out a new video each week. It might be a build video, might be a tutorial, it might be a how-to, or it might be me going to a convention wearing one of these, or going and traveling because I have a social group called the Horde of the Horns where we travel around and have a good time. Or it could just be me chilling out by the pool watching the ducks that have decided to have my pool as their spring pond. Fun times. Plus I live in Florida. I might want to travel around Florida and show you part of Florida. So, that on note, I would like for you to subscribe because you know what? Being a fairly new channel again, I just relaunched it. I can sure use some subscribers. I can sure use some comments and some likes to help me know that what I'm doing is a subject that you want to see. And on that note, let's get on to the subject at hand. How to build a body double. What are the best materials to use if you're on a budget to make a body double or a custom dress form? Well, I can think of 3 right off the bat. So that's why I bring up my mystery box of body double materials on a budget, because as you saw in the title, I'm going to teach you how to do this for under 10 bucks. I'll have a full breakdown of the cost later in the video. Now, the first thing that everybody thinks of is this right here. This is duct tape. Duct tape has its benefits. Duct tape is what almost everybody thinks of when they first think of making a body double. People will think of a duct tape dummy. That is the term. Everybody goes, oh, I can make a duct tape dummy. Well, duct tape has some great benefits. It does have its fiber reinforced tape. It's easy to tear. You can put it on, but as duct tape goes, when you go to pull out a long strip of it to put it around somebody, and all of a sudden, what happens? It folds in on itself. And if you've ever tried to pull it apart, it's never the same because, oh, see, look at that. This side over here folded over. And with that, with duct tape, you get a lot of waste. Now, I would give this, I mean, it's good if you're good at doing it, but if you're a first timer, or if you're on an even cheaper budget, because this stuff, you know, not the pink stuff here, that's the wife's duct tape, yeah, you know, if you're getting a big old roll of gray duct tape, you're going to go through multiple rolls of it probably because you want it firm. Duct tape and, you know, any of these soft body double things kind of have a little bit of bloat to it, including duct tape, and then you have an issue because you're putting the duct tape around a plastic bag, and as you take it off, just like what happened to me, you know, duct tape sticks to itself. And you know, that's where, you know, if you want to take my later tips and then try it with the duct tape, it'll work. I have a thing later on that I can show you where I absolutely love duct tape. But that brings us to material number 2 out of my box here. So what do I have next? What do I have? I have plaster gauze. Now, plaster gauze is probably one of the oldest things when making a mannequin or making a body double, because they call it casting, because you know why? You use this stuff to make a cast if you break your arm. But as you can see, it's a mess, especially plain plaster gauze. You get powder everywhere. All over my table right here, I got powder. Once you get it wet, you get a film of white stuff all over the place. It has its benefits because it can get hard to pick, you know, the more layers that you put on it, but it gets thicker and then you lose your exact form because plaster, it builds. Now the duct tape, you can get it pretty thin when you layer it. This stuff, it builds up thicker and thicker and thicker, and it's plaster, and then the thicker it is, the harder it is to get off. So, old-fashioned way of doing things, not my favorite way. My favorite way is this right here. This is probably a material that you may have seen it before. I haven't seen it that often, but paper packaging tape. Paper packaging tape. I've probably never heard of this stuff. Well, you know what? This stuff is cheap. This stuff is really cheap. And yes, when you wrap it up and you're doing your thing, it might end up looking like a paper bag. You know, that's why, I got ways around that too. That's coming up. But why do I like this stuff so much? Well, first of all, you see that? It's not sticking to me. It's not sticking to me at all because this stuff is water activated. Another benefit to it is you can cut it into strips. You can have all of your strips prepared and ready to go before you even start your casting. This is kind of like paper mache. This is paper mache meets duct tape. It's water activated like paper mache. It's just less gluey. It's not that great. Paper mache. Would you paper mache your body? No, probably not. But consider this. This is a paper mache version of duct tape. And this stuff works wonderful. So let me show you a quick demonstration. See, you saw me take the piece of duct tape. You saw it fold on each stuff. And when it turned around and started to, it's duct tape. So what you would do, you take a sponge here. A little bit of water. And my technique is I'll just run the tape under the sponge. I'll pull it. And look at that. Is it folding in on itself? Not really, but look, it's already sticky. That's how quick this stuff is. You can wrap it around your body and you can have it right there. That's how quick and easy this stuff is. And if you really need to, can duct tape do this? Can you reposition it? Can't do that with duct tape, but you can with paper packaging tape. That's why I like this stuff. Now, paper packaging tape does have a few flaws. Like as you're layering and as it's going around body curves, you have a tendency to get these little folds and everything. It can get stiff. And, so one of the things that I do is I will grab clear packaging tape. And once I have everything wrapped, I'll put a layer of clear packaging tape over it. But you know what? Can you just put the duct tape over it? Yeah, you can. If you like the feel outside of duct tape, you can do your whole body in this as your underlayer and do duct tape on top of it and save money on duct tape. Now, what I just did is kind of stupid. I stuck it straight to my skin. Now, again, like with the, look at this. This is a mess. Let me take that down. Look at that. Reveal. When you do a duct tape dummy, a lot of people will do a trash bag over top of you. And then, but the thing is with a trash bag is you have a tendency to need to tape the trash bag down and fit your body and then do your tape. What I have learned over the years is this stuff right here, Glad Press and Seal. Glad Press and Seal, you wrap it around your body, it sticks to itself. You put your tape over it, it sticks to Glad Press and Seal. And then you go over it to cut it off, bandage scissors. Why do I like bandage scissors? Because there's a flat edge here. And if you are going up against the skin, it'll slide right up under the paper and cut right off. Look at that. So yeah, there it is. Pretty strong. It's only been a couple minutes. So that's the thing. You got your form. How do you fill this void? Well, one of the easiest and cheapest ways would be newspaper, because nobody reads the newspaper anymore. They get delivered to our house all the time. They just sit out in the rain, or they sit in the corner of the house and we use it to fill the bottom of the rabbit cage. One of the next things to fill it would be polyfill, the same stuff that you fill a pillow with or a stuffed animal. That fills this void pretty good. You need a lot of it though. And the more you stuff it, it feels a little soft here, a little feels soft here, and then next thing you know, because it is a soft form, it'll bloat a little bit. You'll get the same thing with the duct tape. You'll get the same thing with this stuff. You got to deal with a little bit of bloat. That's why the more layers that you put on this, the more this paper becomes more like cardboard. That's why I like this stuff, because no matter how many layers of duct tape you'll still get that soft feel. The more layers of this, the more stiff it gets. So that's why I like this stuff. And then you can cut thinner strips for thinner areas, or thicker strips, or longer strips, or shorter strips. But what happens when you want to upgrade it or do something a little bit more permanent? Well, you can fill it with expanding foam. Expanding foam, and you can either use great stuff or the Loctite expanding foam, both in a can, and it works for this stuff pretty well. You can get the 2-part expanding foam that you can get online, or they have bags of it to set posts for building a deck. All of that will work inside of this. It's a little sloppy, but you got to make sure that you're not getting it out the holes or whatever. You got to tape up your holes, but it'll work. I did it. I have it currently. My original body form that I built for the Wampa is now filled with expanding foam. Now, what does it look like? Let me show it to you now. I built everything off of a PVC frame. This is what I started with. I changed a lot of it. The center post, it was just too unstable. The arms didn't really work. I was trying to articulate them. I rebuilt most of this framework. But if you're going to put anything with some weight on it, you need something with some girth. And, being that I was heavier at the time, I needed to build something with some girth, so that way the backpack would fit on something that fit my shape, thus needing a body double. I started off with the plastic frame, and then I moved to the plastic bag. I started with the plastic bag, taped it up with the edges, and then I moved to the tape that goes down my back here, as you see it. Around the shoulders, around my chest, down my back, down my chest, and eventually I ended up with my whole body wrapped in the paper packaging tape. And here we go. This is the form. As you can see, it fits my body. As unpleasant as it is to look at, it's what I looked like at the time. And if I was going to build everything off of an Alice pack, I needed something to show exactly where it would fit on my body. When I cut it off, you can see my horrible gut there and the horrible gut on the body form. When I ended up putting it when I put it onto the PVC frame, I could start to see how this costume would fit me. And to take it a step further, I put some clothing on my body form, including pants, including a shirt with a fake head, with the helmet, so I could start testing the backpack. This is how my Wampa began, with one of these body doubles made out of paper packaging tape. So here it is. Here it is today. Now, I started off with the paper and the clear plastic tape, but I started to take the Wampa to conventions and put it on display, and I needed to build it in front of guests sometimes. So if I wanted to take it off the stand and wear the costume at a convention, I needed the stand to be presentable in front of the guests. So I chose to take it and wrap it in colored duct tape and make it look like the Wampa warning sign from the deleted scene from Empire Strikes Back, where the stormtroopers would open up the door and get attacked by the Wampa. Now, still to this day, I have this form underneath my stand. To the right of me, it is up on the stand, and this body form is still underneath the stand and keeping it upright for storage. How much is it going to cost you? I promised you under $10 at the beginning, so let's break down the prices. Here we go. Paper packaging tape, 125 yards for $5.25 at Staples. This stuff is cheap. And guess what? You're getting 125 yards. The next largest roll that you're going to get is the clear packaging tape or your standard duct tape, and that's 55 yards. That's more than 2 times the amount of tape for the price of one. That's one of the reasons why I like paper packaging tape. Now, clear packaging tape, you can get 55 yards of it for $2. Now, why not do the clear packaging tape for your entire body? Well, part of it is the fiber reinforcement that you get with the paper packaging tape and with the duct tape. That's why I use the clear packing tape as my outer coating, because it's cheap and it smooths out the paper. It makes it a little bit easier on the touch, but you know, standard duct tape is always going to be a nice, more little bit rubbery feel to the touch than your clear packing tape, because no matter how much you do it, it's still going to have a little bit of a crinkle to it. That brings us to standard duct tape. You know, your large rolls of duct tape are going to come in 55 yards. And if you're going to do a full body form, a full body, you're going to use probably 3 or 4 rolls. If you're just doing a torso, you'll probably use 1 or 2 rolls of this 55-yard standard duct tape. And you can get your cheap stuff at the, you know, it's $3, but you know, the stick on the cheap stuff doesn't work. And if you want to go up to something like Gorilla Tape, or, you know, right here, this 3M brand, you're going to look at up to $15 a roll. So you're looking at $30 to do a duct tape dummy, where the paper packaging tape you can do for $5 plus a roll of clear packing tape. You're going to have materials left over, and you're looking at $7.25. Colored duct tape is the smallest roll. These come in 20-yard rolls for $7.25. Now, if you want to do color, I would suggest doing the paper packaging tape underneath and doing 1 layer of the color, or if you're going to do the standard gray duct tape, do the color on the top as a top layer, because this 20-yard roll doesn't go very far, and you're looking at $7.25 per roll. So your prices can really skyrocket if you do the entire thing in color. I suggest this is a top coat only. I built this thing a couple days ago wearing a much different outfit and in a less flattering position, sitting on the floor doing this. But as you can see, for what I needed it for, which was a one-time use, well, 2-time use, and probably a 3rd-time use if I'd use this to help demonstrate how to stilt walk, 3 times, it did what it needed to do, and it probably cost me $2 worth of material. $2 to do this for you guys. So here it is. Here's the demo of me putting everything together. And, you know, because I've been talking too much here, I'll fast cut it. You don't need the audio. You don't need the voiceover, because I've already explained it to you here. So here we go. Fun times. Enjoy. that. One working foot. Now, not the prettiest. So let's get a sock. Let's find a worthy sock to go on this guy. Got a couple of options here. Over the years, I have been gifted with some fun socks. This one here is the Yeti from Animal Kingdom at Disney. I love these, but I'm the wampa dude. So yeah, I do have a pair of wampa socks. So this couple years, look at that, missing arm and everything. I love these things. So let's dress it up. And that brings us to the end of the video. And here's my demonstration leg with my wampa socks, with his little bloody mouth and his bloody stumpy arm. I love the attention to detail on these socks. Now, why do a video about how to make torsos with paper packaging tape and show you a leg? Well, that's why. I wanted to have a copy of my leg so I can put my leg in my shoe, in my calf, to show you how the calf is strapped down, how the foot is strapped down. And when you're stilt walking, your only movement is your ankle joint. When you're leaning forward, when you're leaning back, or you're stepping forward, your entire movement is right here at your ankle. So that is a tip for stilt walking for another video. Now, what's next for the channel? Well, tomorrow we're going on a road trip, and we'll be having some of these with us. Do a little bit of guerrilla marketing with weatherproof channel stickers that have at Wampadude on them? Maybe. Or I can hand this to anybody that we run into so I can tell them about our channel. And you know what? When somebody has a sticker, when somebody has some free merch, they put it in their pocket. When they go home, they look at it and they go, oh, I remember this guy. They see our videos and maybe they subscribe, which I would like to ask you to. Please subscribe. I could sure use the help. I can sure use the help making a comment below if you like the content in today's video. If you have any tips that you want me to demonstrate, if you think I got anything wrong, put it down below. Or if you think that I helped you, put it down below in the comments. Share it with a friend if they're they need a body double being made. But on our trip, we are also probably going to stop by this place. Yep, did you see that? I was been wearing this hat the whole time. It's also right here on my wall. It's one of my favorite shops and my favorite stores in the entire country. Now, if you know what this place is, look at that, look at that. If you know what this place is, you know that YouTubers love this place. And we just might film a short, film a video, you know, it's definitely going to show up on the channel. So if you know what it is, put it in the comments below. So where are we going? I'm not quite going to tell you yet, because I want to keep this one special and I want to keep this one a surprise. You'll probably see something in the shorts over the weekend. So if you see anything there, the best way to find out, subscribe to the channel. And as I say at the end of every video, preserve your legacy and enjoy.